In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it's your boys, CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. We're going to do a little Saturday morning action. We actually have been doing this off and on. Let us know in the chat if you guys like the Saturday morning thing. Drop a 1 in the chat if you like getting up on Saturday morning, getting your daily dose of crypto. Drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat if you just want to be left alone and just sleep in on a Saturday morning. Hey, I feel it. I know. I do. Crypto fam, if this is your first time here, make sure that you subscribe. We appreciate each and every one of you. And just as a reminder, right off the bat, we are giving away a full year of Market Cypher. I don't know if any of you know how valuable that is, but it's usually about $1,000 to sign up for a year's of Market Cypher. And we're giving away a full year of that. All you have to do, be subscribed to the channel here and then sign up for our academy. And our academy, guys, private seminars every single week. We've got Zero to Hero, which is our Crypto 101. We got tons of stuff going on over there. So we would love to have you. Now, Miguel, let's jump right into it, bro. What do we have on this morning?
We got the ETH slaughter on the podium today. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Not the slaughter. We
I got my ETH hat on. I'm ready, and you're talking about slaughtering my girlfriend.
We're gonna be talking about mostly ETH today. A big update release has been announced by Vitalik, multi-dimensional. So if that is confusing to you as it is to us, we will discuss it in just a few minutes. Like, is ETH about to blast off into space, into a different dimension? Like in Marvel, go into different dimensions and come from the future where there's a 10K ETH. Please,
that's
Lord.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off. Let's get into let's take a little look-see here at the market. So we've got, oh boy, what a surprise, a little bit of red. Bitcoin basically flat right now at 41.8. We talked about that 42K support being super important. And I think we need to remember that is important. But I think 40K, and this is my opinion, is going to be a lot more important than even that. But we're hanging around there. ETH's hanging right around 200 pretty steadily right now after the huge drop. Binance Coin, Solana's up a few percent. Everything's just pretty flat right now. Let me pull up real quick, Miguel.
I think we're going to wick down lower, dude. I think we're going to wick down lower.
How low do you think we're going to go while I pull this up?
I believe if we break 40, we could go lower into the 30s. CVL said that. Magic Internet Money said that by watching some of his videos.
I mean, if we break 40, we have to go lower. Because that would be
I mean like lower into the 30s, not like staying at 39.
Really? Okay.
39, like lower into the 30s. It could be a massive wick. It could be maybe a day or two scenario. I'm not saying that we're going to be there for a long period of time, and I'm not saying this is even for sure going to happen. We could definitely not have this scenario play out, but right. I'm just saying. What's been happening is we've been dropping lower, consolidating there for a little bit, thinking we're going to bounce back up, and then we drop lower again. And the trend is your friend until the end. So that is the trend right now.
Yeah. So I've got Market Cypher pulled up here over on TradingView. We've got Bitcoin. If you look up in the top corner, we've got Bitcoin on the daily here, guys. I mean, the reality is, right? If you look at it, we have got a major downtrend going here. That's just a fact. I mean, there's really nothing now that's terrible. That's literally the worst 2 lines ever. But you can see that we are trending downward, and that's obviously not good. When we look down on the momentum wave, the blue wave right here, we've been moving lower. We look down at the MACD, right? We've got dark red, which is ultimately bearish on that. We've got the only thing that I see good on here right now, that I really see as good, I guess you could look at, is this RSI, man. This RSI is absolutely smoked right now. We're down at like 14 on the on RSI, on the relative strength index. That's way oversold. That's way oversold.
That is low. It's
Yeah,
only a matter of time we have a bounce. But the
yeah,
question becomes: is it going to be a rally, or is it going to be a dead cat bounce? Right, just to relieve that RSI, and then we can
yeah.
come back down a lot lower.
I mean, listen. Here's the facts. When in May, and this is where it's hard for me because in May we talked about everybody was calling for when we went low. Everybody was talking about going from 40 down to 20, right? Like when we dropped below 40, it was we're going to 20, we're going to 18. I mean, I heard some 15 numbers, right? Now, do I disagree that we could go below 40 right now? No, I don't disagree. It absolutely could happen. I think it's going to cause panic. And that's the reason why I could see it going lower if it does breach that 40 number. But yeah, I mean, God,
Yeah,
I'm just really hoping
I
that we
think.
hold.
Yeah,
I'm
I
hoping we
think
hold.
we can keep consolidating. Maybe even have a little relief rally at best case scenario, maybe into the higher 40s again,
Yeah.
but not really have massive movement between now and the ending of February, and then that leading up to March, where the Fed is supposed to announce its first, interest rate hike, could definitely shake out the market again.
Yeah.
And if they do come out and they, say, hey, we're gonna, drop the hammer on the interest rates and really raise them, then I think that's when we can see these like lower 30 price action. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's very uncertain times right now.
yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. We're gonna actually
Blah, blah, blah,
we're
blah,
gonna
blah.
dive in to a little bit of why possibly some of this has happened. So we've got $500 million in liquidations as Bitcoin struggles around 42K. All right, it shows a little sinking ship here, right? It's safe to say that the cryptocurrency market has seen better days. Bitcoin, for example, traded around 47,000 for several consecutive days until 36 hours ago. At that point, the bears, perhaps fueled by a Fed announcement in
Could
terms
you
of its
zoom in a
balance
little
sheet.
bit?
Yeah, sure. That better?
Yeah.
All right. The Now I got to figure out where the heck I was at. The At this point, the Fed in turns its balance sheet pushed the asset south vigorously. It initially dumped by $4,000 to around 43, as reported yesterday, but the landscape worsened today, following another nosedive to 41. The latter became BTC's lowest price line in more than 3 months. The altcoins are no better situation as Ethereum sits at 3,200. Just 2 days ago, the second largest crypto traded above 3,800. Overall, the entire market cap has declined by nearly $300 billion in 2 days and is well below $2 trillion now. This enhanced volatility caused pain for over-leveraged traders. Data from CoinGlass, which used to be by BYBT, I don't even know how they really wanted to say that, but shows that the total liquidations on a daily scale are just shy of $500 million. The number of traders liquidated is around 130,000. Miguel, real quick, let's talk about what a liquidation could look like, right? And we're going to get into ETH here
Yeah.
in a minute, but I'll just tell a quick story, guys. People were laughing about me. I'm not going to dive into it deep, but I am in a 5x long position in ETH, and I got about this close. I got about like just absolutely right up next to the edge of getting liquidated, right? After pulling my stop loss because I didn't believe it could go lower. I literally did everything that you
That you should
shouldn't
not
do
do.
in leverage trading, right? So I just want to make that clear. I did a TikTok video on it. I had literally I had profit targets laid out. I had a stop loss. I did all the things that you were supposed to do on the front end. And then I let human greed get in the way. So if you guys are looking to actively trade, if you're looking to get involved, first of all, I do recommend Market Cipher. We will, it works really well. But secondly, if you're looking to get into Femex, we ultimately have a code for that. But just be careful, guys. Right? Just be careful. It is dangerous, and greed will jump in the way. It's not. It's not a weird thing to have happen. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
I want to say something about this leverage thing. It's been a recurring theme this cycle, this entire cycle. If you guys pay attention right now, for the multiple months, this entire cycle, we've been hearing leverage, over leverage,
Yep.
liquidation, over leverage, liquidation, over leverage, liquidation. And every time we get a liquidation, we have these massive drops, and then everyone's like, bear market? Is this it? Is this the bear
Yeah.
market? And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, no, okay, let's leverage long again. Oh, liquidated, bear market. So this has been happening over and over and over. And I honestly do think that the institutions and whales are using right? They put this leverage trading out there to really trap you, to get these retail
Mm-hmm.
investors to get trapped and say, well, I can't afford a full Bitcoin, but I can leverage trade and make it seem like I'm trading with a full Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Or multiple Bitcoin if I have just a little bit.
Right.
And they're using this to not just steal your Bitcoin or steal your money, but they're using this to tame the markets, because they can
Yeah.
easily see when the markets are extremely leveraged and when they're extremely long and when they're extremely short, right? And they say, okay, now it's time to do the opposite, to try to liquidate these fools. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what's been happening this entire cycle. Is every time we have a massive retracement, instant massive liquidation of I don't know how many millions, billions of
Mm-hmm.
dollars all the time. They're literally taming the markets, literally pulling the markets back whenever they want to, the
Yeah.
minute that they see there's way too many longs or way too many shorts. So I think, whoa, 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 don't die on me, Boomer.
I'm trying to mute it. Almost died on stream. Apparently, took down a little bit of coffee, the wrong pipe there. But you know what,
Oh,
Miguel? You're right. So the next article that I'm about to pull up here in just a second, not yet, but I'm about to pull it up, is about Ethereum liquidations. Okay. And I do want to say, Miguel, think back to 2017, 2018. What was the day that was the top? The day that the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the future Bitcoin futures came out, right?
I believe it was December 17th.
Yes, I think you're right. And if you look at it, the correlation, you're totally right, man. It okay. Trading trading plays on the human emotion of greed. Leverage trading amps that up, it like extent like tremendously, right?
Yep.
Because ultimately what you're doing is you are borrowing capital that you don't have, under the assumption that it's not going to move this much, or if it moves this much I can make exponentially more. But guys, the reality is things happen, just like happened to me, put me in the position where I'm in right now, right? I knew full well what I was doing, but I had initially, right off the top of the trade, I was up like 35 or 40%, and I didn't freaking take profits because I thought we were going to go higher, right? And I
Yep.
pulled, I had a take profit set, right? Guys, that's stupid. That's ignorant. And then what happens? These markets don't care about you. They don't care about me. They turn back around, and I'm going to pull this article up now. And then this type of stuff happens right here. Ether sees higher liquidations than Bitcoin after falling under 3.2K. Guys, this chart shows my downfall over the last week of this leverage trade. um, Traders racked up $182 million in losses on Ether tracked futures products in the past 24 hours, according to data from analytics tools CoinGlass. That is $14 million higher than Bitcoin tracked futures, which usually see the largest liquidations in the crypto market during a comparable period. Liquidations occur when an exchange forcefully closes a trader's leveraged position as a safety mechanism due to a partial or total loss of the initial margin. This happens primarily in futures trading, which only tracks asset prices, as opposed to spot trading, where traders own the actual assets. Guys, listen, spot trading is much different than getting into this leverage trading, right? It is absolutely different. In spot trading, you actually own the asset. You can take it and transfer it from one wallet to the next, right? With leverage trading, all you're doing is you are speculating on the price, and you are borrowing, right, more than you actually have. So just to give you a brief thing, if you do 10x leverage, the price needs to move 10%, because it's 10% times 10x, that's 100%, right? So if the price moves 10% like that, which it has recently, obviously, guess what? If you don't have a stop loss in place, you're liquidated, right? If you're going to do this, guys, let me just say one thing, two things: stop loss, take profit. Literally, that should explain it right there. Set a stop loss and take profits. That's all I want to say about leverage trading, because it ultimately, you're right, Miguel. I
It's a
really look
double-edged
at it
sword,
that way.
man. It's a
It is.
double-edged sword. It's literally entice people to, hey, come make so much money with leverage trading. You're
Yep.
gonna be able to get rich overnight, right? Because that's the dream. Once again, getting rich overnight with leverage trading. Because
Yep.
we've seen a few crypto influencers that have been
Mhm.
around for a while make lots of leverage trades, and they're millionaires, right? and they're honestly controlling the markets with these leverage trades. And I honestly think that Ethereum is leading the market right now with this downfall. It wasn't
Yeah.
just Bitcoin. Ethereum is taking a massive hit, way bigger than
Hmm.
anyone was expecting, on the on-chain metrics, which I don't actually have pulled up right now, but I think I shared it in the academy, was basically there is more selling pressure, I think, right now for Ethereum than there is for Bitcoin on exchanges.
Yeah.
Um, so
And Miguel, you said we're about to talk a little bit more about Ethereum here in a second,
yeah,
but you said something that really resonated with me. Like one of the things that happens when this leverage, what happens is basically there's like a cascading effect when people get liquidated, right? It
yep,
ultimately it piles on top of each other and it drives it lower. If we didn't have leverage trading in the markets, we would experience a lot less volatility than we do.
yeah,
But like you said, it's a double-edged sword because we love it, right? When the market just we wake up in the morning and all of a sudden like there's these huge freaking green candles popping off everybody. We've got a short squeeze and it's just absolutely blasting off, which side note, I think we are setting up nicely for. So you're right. It's a double-edged sword. It goes both ways. It cascades downward and it blasts off upwards. And I do think that
yep.
the institutions use that to play with these markets. Let me see. We got anything in the chat before I jump into this last article? Chat, just so you guys know, we are always paying attention to the chat. If you guys have something that's like super important or you just want to support the channel, we do have super chats on. We appreciate all the love, guys. No pressure there. I'm just throwing that out there that if you do have something that you really want us to see, we do have super chats as well.
Ryan Bright says I wanted to mention where there's cheaper gas fees. Well,
So, yeah.
this new upgrade is meant for this, right? It's kind of has to be tied back to 1559,
Yep.
but now it's gonna be multi-dimensional, whatever that means. So it's gonna be pulling from all levels of dimensions to see if we can fix these gas prices.
Well, let's pull it up here. So first of all, I want to comment. The artist here, I mean, listen, Vitalik should frame this. He should put this on his wall because this, I'm not trying to be mean, but like this artistry here, this picture of Vitalik that they drew here, I mean, he looks like a
Yeah,
stud here.
he looks like a 175 pounder, right? In this picture, but in real life, he's more like a 120 at best.
118.
Yeah.
So Vitalik's new multi-dimensional Ethereum V structure. Calculating different gas prices for different resource usage may streamline the current fee structure for Ethereum, according to Buterin. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik has put his thinking cap on again in an attempt to improve the current fee structure for the network. The proposed titled Multi-Dimensional EIP 1559 was laid out in a blog post on Wednesday in which Buterin noted that different resources in the Ethereum virtual machine have different demands in terms of their gas usage. He added that there are different limits for short-term burst capacity as opposed to sustained capacity with the EVM, citing examples of block data storage, witness data storage, and block state size changes. The scheme we have today, where all resources are combined together into a single multidimensional resource, which is gas, does a poor job at handling these differences. The problem is that channeling all the different resources into a single one leads to very suboptimal gas costs when these limits are misaligned, he adds. Now, Miguel, I think I do understand what he's saying here. Basically, he's saying that there are lots of different things that are happening on the
Yep.
Ethereum network, whether they're fast, whether they need to happen, they need to happen right now, right? Or whether it can be something slow or something, over the course of late, it can happen later on. What's happening is it's funneling, almost bottlenecking, where every single freaking transaction just bottlenecks into the same place. I think what he is saying is that, hey, what if we have it set up for, we've got NFT transactions flowing through here.
Yes,
We've got,
exactly.
and he's basically saying he's basically setting up a highway as opposed to doing a 2-lane road.
Mhm.
He's setting up a 6-lane highway, moving different directions, and saying, "Hey, look, if we do that, we're going to be able to get more traffic through, and we're going to be able to ultimately bring those gas costs down." Do you agree with that,
Yes,
Miguel? That's what I'm
I
reading.
agree. I'm reading that it looks like he's going to create different categories, right? So, like NFT
Mm-hmm.
transactions on OpenSeas are going to go through this highway of gas fees, right? So,
Yeah.
if this highway gets clogged up, it doesn't mean that when I'm sending you an Ethereum peer to peer trade, right? I'm just sending you some Ethereum. I'm going to have to pay the same gas fee as the people on the NFT highway. I can pay you a way lower gas fee because there isn't so much traffic over here right now.
Yeah.
If I'm purchasing something with Ethereum, or I'm buying something else, playing a different game or something, maybe it doesn't have to. Everybody doesn't have to pay the same gas price at the same time for the same thing if they're doing different things. And I think that is a great idea.
Dude, I think it's fantastic. I mean, the reality is you and I both know just from being around for a while, we literally look to make transactions, late at night, right?
Yep.
Like there are different times during the day where there is less activity on the network. I'll give you an example. When we gave away that $500, actually, Arnie's in the chat right now. Welcome, Arnie. You spend all that $500 in one spot, did you? But when Arnie won that $500, right? One of the things I thought, well, I was like, well, we'll send it to him in ETH. And the first thought was like, man, we're gonna get hammered on a gas fee. But
Yep.
it was late at night. And so guess what? It literally was a $5 gas fee, right? Now, even still, right? That's 1%. It's still not, nothing, right? It's not pennies like some of these other networks have, right? But it
But
wasn't $100 on
yeah.
$500, which I have paid before, right? To
Yes.
get something
Yes.
pushed through. So I think it's a great idea. I think the reality is there should be prioritization and there should be different lanes on the highway, so to speak.
Yeah, dude, because
I
man,
like it.
sometimes I've bought NFTs, right? And an NFT might cost $250, and then you're paying another $250, $300 in gas fees. Like
Yeah.
your NFT went from 250 to $500 real quick. And
Yeah.
even then, there's no promise you might even get it because
Yeah.
the gas war is so crazy. And sometimes you lose your gas fee. You might lose your gas fee if your transaction doesn't go through. So bye $300 right there on an attempt to buy an NFT. That's a lot of money.
Drop a 1 in the chat if you have paid a gas fee of over $50. Drop a 1 in the chat if you've dropped a gas fee of over $50. Drop a 2 in the chat if you haven't experienced any of the gas wars or any of that. But yeah, I will say the one thing that my girl here has got wrong is the gas. And it's the one thing I think that listen, there's two things. One, people will complain about speed, but the reality is the network works and
Yeah.
it is massively adopted and built on top of, and I think will continue to, right? So I think if we can fix the gas problem, I think the speed, at least for now, will
It's decent. It's decent
can
enough
pick
to
up.
keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it can pick up and get better.
Yeah, man.
I
I
like
mean,
this. I like this comment. Look at this.
what?
Check this out. Everyone will look better in the metaverse. Hey, listen, speak for yourself. I think I look just fine in real life, but yes, I'm gonna get an avatar that looks like a Calvin Klein underwear model. That's my game plan.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Ethereum is solid. I honestly don't think Ethereum has any decent competitor out there. People keep talking about Solana. Just recently, couple of days ago, another article came out of we were having network issues. The network
Yep,
was performance was downgraded or whatever. A week or two ago, they had an outage again. It's
yep.
they constantly, and they're centralized, right? They're super hyper centralized, and yet they keep having these network outages. But they swear that they're faster. They're an Ethereum killer. Yada yada yada. It's like, hey guys, Ethereum
Do you,
didn't have any network outages. It's gassy, right? Everything is running on Ethereum and everything super high gas fees, and it sucks. But it doesn't go down. I can tell
do
you
you
that.
know? Do you know? And I actually learned this from a fellow TikToker, and I looked into it after I watched the TikTok. I didn't just take it on face value, but I think it was Crypto is Good. Put out a video and talking about how, everybody talks about how cheap Solana is. Well, the reality is Solana is not cheap whatsoever. Solana is cheap for the end user, but the reason that it might not get built on as much as you think is because the cheap isn't on the side of development, right? Anybody that's developing on Solana pays massive amounts of fees to do what they're trying to do. Like on the NFT side of things, basically
Yep.
the end user on Ethereum pays these massive gas fees, transaction fees, blah, 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 right? But on Solana, it's the devs. So it costs them a ton of money to put the NFT project together. And so, guys, here's the reality. Anything in life has good and bad. If you get married, right, you need to understand that your wife is going to have good qualities and bad qualities, right? When she gets married, she needs to understand that you probably have more bad qualities than good qualities, right? But you got to decide, what am I going to look at? What am I going to focus on? What actually works for me? What makes sense for me, my lifestyle, what I'm doing? And I think that's really important, because I think so many times people are looking for this perfect project. They're looking for something to solve every, the blockchain trilemma on every single different front, right?
Yep.
It's not real life, at least not right now. It's going to take a while before we get to that point. And even still, centralized entities have problems too. Apple has their problems. Microsoft has their problems. These huge companies have their problems too.
I say less centralization, the better, bro. And that's why I haven't bought Solana, even though the price looks, interesting. It looks like, oh man, you could buy some, it could go a lot higher. I just can't support something that I don't believe in,
Yeah.
and I can't buy into Solana's centralized things. Having these billionaires literally laughing in everybody's face that, hey, yeah, we're buying Solana at super discounted rates, and then we're pumping our own bags and dumping on everybody. I just can't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I want to answer something in the chat here. We're going to jump in and answer a couple questions in the chat before we wrap up. Is this a better time to DCA or invest into a new asset? Miguel, tell me your thoughts.
It depends, right? It depends. If you have just purchased a very small amount of, let's say, ETH, or a very small amount of, any other project, Avalanche or whatever it is, right? And you want to pack your bags, right? The more crypto is an accumulation game. The more you have of an asset that is a top tier project, the better it's going to play out for you in the long term, right? Why has Nick and I performed, our portfolios performed well in the last 5 years? Is because we stuck to a 3 to 4, maybe 5 at best projects.
Yeah.
And for those 5 years, just dollar cost average, those 5 projects. Yeah, new projects come and go, this and that, and they're super interesting. But don't fall into the TikTok hype. Don't fall into all these influencer hype of this is the next 100xer. This is the next, because those 100xers never ever stop. There's always going to be a new 100xer. And if you're trying to diversify yourself and owning 50 different projects, it's not going to work out for you. If you're a DCA long-term holder, if you're a trader, that probably works out for you, right? Because you're in and out of these 50 assets all day, every day,
Yeah.
or every couple of days. But a long-term investor cannot, unless you have a massive bankroll, cannot afford to sustain 50 assets and have actual massive bags of those 50 assets.
That's a fact. Check this out. I want to show just on what you're saying. So look at this. Biggest gainers: Ninja Floki, 593% today. Buns Cake, 313% today, right? Sometimes these say multiple thousands of percentages, right?
But I can't believe we missed out on those 100
Yeah, exactly. What I'm trying to tell you is, I can promise you, anybody got into Ninja Floki and didn't take their profit today or whatever. I mean, guys, listen, these do not, and I repeat, they do not stick around long. And so there's a lot of projects that they're so small on the front end that it only takes a little bit of capital to push the needle. But remember, on the tail end of that, it only takes a little capital to pull the rug, right? It only takes a little bit of capital for all of a sudden your project that went bee to woo, right, and head right back down. So I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. You've got to be freaking careful. And I agree with you, Miguel. DCAing works. That's what we can say, right? Buying a new asset, I guess it depends on what that new asset would be, right? So
yeah, it depends. It depends. If you have a lot already, if you already packed your bags, you're heavy on a certain asset. You're like, well, maybe it's instead of continuing dollar cost averaging that same asset, I'm looking for a new asset now, and that's nothing wrong with that either. You just need to decide that for yourself.
Yeah, and then Clifton says, I had about 1,000. We were talking about leverage trading earlier. I had about 1,000 that I mess around with leverage trading on KuCoin. Greed always wins. Yeah, so check this out. So what Clifton's ultimately saying there is that he has a set amount that he trades with. And I think that's super important. Do not, again, this is financial advice. Don't take your freaking whole bag, your whole stack, and start playing around without stop losses and this, that, and the third on leverage, right? You will, I repeat, you will get wrecked. Have a setup, have a number, have a price point at which, hey, this is my gambling money, because leverage trading is gambling, guys. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, I want to address this comment where it says, I'm heavy on ETH, but aren't Solana slowdowns still above 500 transactions per second? They might be. I don't know the exact numbers of the Solana thing, but the problem is you got to think Solana barely has anything built on it when you compare it to Ethereum, right? It barely has anything. It has a few NFT projects. It's barely got any dApps, if it has any, to my knowledge, and it's already having network issues. Look how much is built on Ethereum, and it's doesn't have any network issues, right? It just has high gas fees. You gotta pay for what you want, right? You buy, what's the phrase? You get
You
what
get
you
what you
buy.
pay for.
If you buy cheap stuff like Solana because, oh my god, it's so much cheaper, it's gonna make me rich. When you buy shit, you get shit, right? If you buy high quality, you got to pay for that high quality stuff, and that comes with gas fees, right? The
Play
people
stupid
that are
games, win
driving a
stupid prizes.
Ferrari are driving a Ferrari, right? It costs them a lot more than driving a Honda, but they're
Yeah,
driving a Ferrari. So that's how
that's right.
you gotta look at these things.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I want to address one last thing here, real quick, and this is a great question. What do y'all think about Crow? I'll kick that off. Crypto.com has been a project that I was able to take a lot of profits out of and did actually pretty well. I actually wish that I probably wouldn't have taken the profits when I did. But at the end of the day, one of the things I always will say is that profit is not a dirty word. We are here to make money. Take your profits, secure those profits. But let me just say, Crypto.com. I believe Crypto.com has an ad out for the Super Bowl. I know Crypto.com has the Staples. It was the Staples Center. Now it's like Crypto.com Arena, which is where the Lakers play. Guys, everywhere, every college, every time there's a football game on, there's
Yep.
brought to you by Crypto.com. Guys, listen,
UFC,
the
UFC
UFC,
fighters, they
yeah,
were
the freaking umpires in
Crypto.com.
baseball. I mean, guys,
Mm-hmm.
it's everywhere. And so what I want to
Yep.
say is this. You can think anything you want to think about this project, that project, whatever. When you pour this kind of money into something, as a general rule, especially as it comes to advertising, you get what's called name recognition. And that name
Yep.
recognition, like, part of the reason, I've explained this before, but part of the reason that these companies do ads, it's not because immediately you see the ad and then you want to go to that place. It's that when you're driving through town, it's name recognition. The reason that you see, ads for, let's say, State Farm, for example, I'm going to use an insurance company, right? Is because when the time does come for you to look at insurance, your brain is literally going to immediately think of what it sees the most, what it hears the most, what it gets the most, flashing in front of its eye, and
Yeah.
that's just how it works.
Once you're familiar with something, you feel like you can trust that something a lot more than
Yeah,
something else, right? So it's like, oh, you see all this insurance, the same insurance, right, all the time. You're like, they're probably good insurance. I'll probably go with them over this other one that I just heard of right now. And I want to say with the whole crypto.com thing, dude, they have Jason Bourne. Like,
that's it. That's right. You
that's
got
it,
Matt
bro.
Damon. I mean, what
Yeah,
else do you need?
they got Jason Bourne out there promoting him. That's going to be a hard competition. But with that said, I've liked crypto.com a lot, but I see them going to the dark side, and I
Why do you
don't
say
like
that?
that.
Why do you say that?
Well, they recently bought something that had to do with XRP. Forgot what it was. They recently, yeah, it was a recent
I mean, let's look
purchase,
at it.
something that
It's a
they bought.
centralized. It's a centralized company. What do you expect?
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, you start touching XRP, it's like it's like Anakin going into the dark side, right? And it's just like, hey, I know you had good intentions for why you did it, but let's not go there, my friend. I don't want to
Oh
drop you
my
like
god.
Obi-Wan dropped Anakin, right? Slice and dice, and I
Listen,
don't want
here's
to
the
do it.
deal. With the centralization, unfortunately, it's a reality of life, right? We are not going to be living in a world of decentralization where decentralization rules. I think that there's going to be a lot of great things that are decentralized. Bitcoin is a great example of one, right? And I think that decentralization is going to play a big part. I think decentralized finance, if we can work out some of the kinks of what our government wants to, get their greasy hands in on and all that, I think it's going to be a big part of our world moving forward. But the reality is there are problems with decentralization as well. And the governments, the people that don't benefit from decentralization, are going to exploit those problems. They're going to point them out. They're going to push them out on the news media. And guess what? People freaking obviously, if we haven't figured this out over the last year, believe just about everything that's put in front of them in the format of a
Well,
news article. So
the
just
NPCs need to wake up from the matrix. Decentralization can be a potential future. They just need to be able to take the hard road, right? Not the easy road, because everybody wants centralization because it's the most convenient thing. But you
mhm.
know where that's going to lead you? That's going to lead you to be hooked up to a machine in the back of your head, getting your meds every day and your microchip and all your whatever stuff because it's convenient. That's where you're going with centralization. So
Adam
be
said
careful out there, NPCs.
let me just touch this real quick. No, Adam. Miguel hates XRP. I actually hold quite a bit of XRP. I don't think it's dead. What I think is that this lawsuit that it's going to feel dead until this lawsuit's over. And once the lawsuit's over, do I think we're going to $589? No, I don't. Not even kind of, right? But I think that
Yeah.
there's money to be made, and I think that ultimately the product XRP as a product to do remittances, cross border payments, it works, right? So you can hate on it like Miguel does. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, right? Miguel's upset that he didn't buy XRP when I did 11
Oh, dude,
cents. That's really what it is.
I wouldn't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole.
If you
I
guys didn't
don't
know
want a
this,
drop of XRP.
this is a daily hot topic between Miguel and I. So listen, crypto fam, we appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a great Saturday morning. If you have not smashed the likes, will you do us a favor? I'm going to give you about 10 seconds here real quick. If you're in the live chat and you are on mobile, just X out of the live chat real quick. Smash the like. It's the one thing that tells YouTube, hey, we love what's going on here. Share the stream with somebody else. Comment in the comments. Guys, we appreciate the support. We're trying to grow this channel. Tell your friends, and don't forget, we're giving away a year market cipher. We have debatecrypto.academy. That is a place where we do weekly private seminars, right? Where we are teaching. We're teaching trading. We're teaching just generalized ideas about crypto. We have a full Crypto
Yep.
101 course in there that's ultimately a whole bunch of different, 6 to 12-minute classes. Guys, if you're looking to learn crypto, we would love to have you. Give us a shot, right? Give us a shot. Check it out if you're ready to learn. So, Crypto fam, we love each and every one of you. We appreciate you guys and can't wait to see you again. But until next time, hodl